Imagine a dog staring at you, wagging its tail, jumping with joy, and seeming to form a deep emotional connection with you. But what's really happening inside its mind? Does it feel love the way you do? Or is everything you see just a series of automatic responses that your brain interprets as affection? And what about other animals? Dolphins, elephants, crows? Do they have their own thoughts? Do they reflect on their lives, make decisions based on emotions? Or are they just following a programmed script written by nature? Science doesn't have all the answers yet, but recent discoveries about animal minds might change everything we believe about consciousness and intelligence. And now, I want to ask you, do you think animals truly think and feel, or are they just highly sophisticated biological machines? Before we try to understand if animals have consciousness, we need to define exactly what consciousness means. For humans, consciousness means being able to perceive one's own existence. It means knowing that we are a unique individual in the world. It means reflecting on the past, imagining the future, and making decisions based on experiences and emotions. But what about animals? Do they also experience this sense of self? Science defines consciousness in 3 ways. The first is self-awareness, knowing that you exist as a unique individual. The second is memory and recognition, the ability to remember past experiences and differentiate between familiar and unfamiliar things. And the third is intentional decision-making, acting not just by instinct but by reflecting, evaluating, and choosing between different possibilities. But do animals meet these criteria? One of the most famous tests for determining self-awareness is called the mirror test. Imagine placing a cat in front of a mirror. What happens? It stares suspiciously, maybe tries to touch its reflection, or even attacks it. But does it actually understand that it's looking at itself? The mirror test was designed to answer this exact question. Scientists place a mark on an animal's forehead, somewhere it can't see without a mirror. Then they observe its reaction when it looks at the reflection. If the animal tries to remove the mark from its own body instead of touching the mirror, this suggests that it recognizes itself, and that could indicate a level of self-awareness. The results of this test were surprising. Dolphins, chimpanzees, and elephants passed the test. They looked at the mirror, examined the mark, and tried to remove it. Dogs and cats, however, completely failed. But does this mean they lack consciousness? Or could it be that they simply rely on other senses, like smell and hearing, to identify themselves? This remains one of the biggest debates in animal cognition. But beyond the mirror, there are many other signs suggesting that animals think and feel in ways far more complex than we once believed. If animals are just biological machines running on instinct, how do we explain behaviors that seem to require intelligence and emotion? Scientists have studied various species and found remarkable behaviors. Dolphins, for instance, give each other names. Each dolphin has a unique whistle, much like a human name, and even after years of separation, they still recognize the call of an old friend. Elephants show what appears to be grief. When a family member dies, they gather around the body for days. Some mothers even carry their dead calves for weeks, unable to let go. Octopuses display an almost eerie level of intelligence. They solve puzzles, escape from aquariums, and even seem to have a sense of humor. Some octopuses have been observed squirting water at scientists, almost as if they were playing or getting revenge. And what about our pets? Dogs can read human emotions and even suffer from depression. Cats recognize familiar voices and show attachment, even if they don't express it in the same way as dogs. All of this seems to go beyond simple instinct. It suggests that animals may indeed have minds of their own, but could they also perceive time in the same way we do? We as humans have a clear perception of time. We know the past, present, and future. But what about animals? Do they understand time, or do they live only in the present moment? Some experiments suggest that animals can sense time. Scientists discovered that crows hide food for later, and they do it strategically. as if planning for the future. Dogs react differently depending on how long their owner has been away. They know when it has only been 5 minutes and when it has been hours. Does this mean animals have a sense of time like we do? If animals are truly conscious, what does that mean for us as humans? Should we rethink how we treat other species? Should we consider animal rights differently? What science is showing us is that animals have a much richer and more complex inner life than we ever imagined. And if they are conscious, then our relationship with them should be reconsidered. Science still doesn't have all the answers about animal consciousness. But one thing is certain, animals perceive the world in ways we don't fully understand yet. And now, I want to know your opinion. Do you believe animals are conscious? Do you think your dog truly loves you, or is it just reacting to stimuli? Leave your comment and share this video.